Hey, I really need you to do me a favor. It's really important. Could you double my allowance for this month? I'm so poor at the moment because I spent so much money on my wedding and everything this month. It's going to be fabulous. You understand, right? I need everything to be perfect, so I really need some extra cash for myself this month. Please and thank you.
Okay, now hold on just a minute. So you're getting married this month? But you said that you were going to become a housewife. Is this really necessary? Do you actually need more money?
Of course I do. How could you ask that? Getting married costs a lot of money these days. Don't you understand that? Honestly, I'm not that surprised that you said that since you're not actually my real parent anyway. You've never been kind to me.
Really, Lucia, you know that's not true. I'm always kind to you and do what I can for you. As you should know, I don't have a lot of money and I've never been very wealthy either. When you ask these sorts of things, it puts me right on the edge of my seat. I don't know how you're going to react.
Yeah. That's what you say to me all the time. Up until now, you've always been nagging me. It's been so annoying. I thought you were thinking about me and how I'd get by financially. But even then, you still can't afford to give me any money. It's ridiculous.
Lucia, why would you say something like that? I have always told you how much I'll support you in your decisions and help you out. I think about you a lot, Lucia. Don't you know that? Otherwise, I wouldn't have made such an effort to raise you well.
Well, it was only convenient for you to look after me. There's no other way to say it. You probably only wanted to look after me to prove you're a good auntie. Up until now, everything you've done you've complained about, and you've always got something to say about my actions. Do you even want to come to my wedding this month, Aunt Maya?
Hey, Lucia, come on, don't be like that. You know that's not true. I'm really looking forward to the wedding and watching you walk down the aisle. You're almost like a daughter to me, and I've worked hard to raise you as best I can. I'll do whatever it takes for you to achieve your dream goals.
But aren't you just saying that to stay on my good side? It's all just lip and no meaning. Maya, if you want me to live my dreams, give me some much money then. You do know that brides spend a lot of money on their weddings, right? Since they only get to do it once in their lives. I need money to spend on getting my nails done, massages, and the salon so I can look beautiful for my wedding day. But of course, you wouldn't know that, would you, Maya, since you've never been married before.
And do you know how many times I've heard this conversation from you before, Lucia? Come to think of it, your mom was also spending a lot of money before her wedding day, too. She lost quite a bit of weight and she spent a lot of money on salons, cosmetics, and other things. She looked so beautiful.
Exactly. She did that. That's why I'm spending my money on that and working hard to do it. And Maya, surely you can help me out here. I need to look my best.
Well, I want to help you, really I do, but it's not that easy for me to just give you a lot of money to spend on so many luxurious things when I don't have a lot of money myself. I really don't have a lot of money to give you, Lucia. I'm really sorry. I just can't give you any money right now. I transferred some allowance into your bank account this month, didn't I? You've got a job as well. Can you make ends meet on your own? Surely you must have quite a lot of savings building up in your account, yeah?
You don't understand, Aunt Maya. I'm barely making ends meet each month. That's why I'm living such a tough life right now. Am I not important enough to you that you can't sacrifice just a little bit of your hard-earned cash?
But you're a full-grown adult now, Lucia. I can't just keep giving you money when I need it to live myself. It's a really tough situation for me right now as well, you know?
Yeah, but I'm going to be getting married soon, and then after that, all I'll be is a housewife. I'm already starting the process of quitting my job. I'll eventually run out of money to spend. My bank account will be sitting at zero. I can't have that. I won't be able to earn my own money anymore. It's going to be an even worse situation than I'm in now. It's going to be impossible to live.
Look, I get where you're coming from, but do you even want to be a housewife, Lucia? You don't have to be a housewife if you don't want to. If you need to have a lot of money to be able to do anything, shouldn't you just continue on working even after you get married?
But my dream has always been to become a housewife and a mother eventually. I always saw you working hard on your own for such a long time, Aunt Maya. Of course, a lot of women marry rich men and have their husbands provide for them. I thought that to have a happy life, you need to live elegantly and full of riches.
Well, as you know, I turned out to be a teacher and I loved my job. Lucia, happiness is different for each person, so I think whatever you do will be fine. But if you only stick to one way of thinking, when the time comes, you might become miserable and you won't be able to protect your thoughts and feelings, okay?
You're not making any sense, Auntie. I've got no idea what you're talking about. Your life changed when you decided to raise me as your own child. You just want to reaffirm your way of life, right? It's so miserable. I don't want to live the way you did. I want to live a wealthy life.
I know your life changed a lot when you were younger with your parents' sudden car accident. I was shocked, too. I was so upset because I had the responsibility of raising a child thrust upon me because of your parents' death. It's a scary situation for everyone involved. But I still liked the way my life turned out because I got to raise you. I know it's hard to think about, but don't you like the way your life turned out?
What the heck are you on about? Are you trying to act like the tragic heroine in this story? You're trying to find a loophole in making me feel bad, aren't you? You're just wanting to hurt me, aren't you? Since I ruined your life plan?
You know that I said nothing of the sort, Lucia. You're blowing this way out of proportion.
Well, from my perspective, you're always complaining about things and how you wish things were different. That you worked so hard until you almost fell over. What an absolute joke, Auntie. You're not funny, you know. We all know I'm the one who ruined what you wanted to do.
Look, I'm really sorry that you feel this way, but I think you're being really unreasonable right now. Sometimes you say so many extreme things.
Yeah, well, you're just an old lady who doesn't understand that we need to be selfish to stay useful and achieve our dreams. You're the one who chose to give it all up. But of course, you only kept your mouth shut about it all because you didn't want other people to hear you complaining about how stressful it was to raise me. I better tell you, my wedding dress is going to be bright red. No matter what you tell me to do, my mind's been made up. That's the dress I'm going for. I'm not going back on my decision, so would you please put your money towards buying me a stunning wedding dress? Please and thank you.
Oh my God, what did you just say? I wasn't even talking about your wedding dress at all. You don't listen to me. Are you seriously going to have your wedding dress be bright red? I think that's a bit too much. Don't you think so?
Ugh, you're always like this. You turn it around and make it about yourself. It's always about Auntie Maya, everybody. Are you going to tell me it's not traditional? That it's not culturally acceptable? I guess you want to complain some more now, huh?
No, I'm not complaining, Lucia. I'm just saying that you say really extreme things sometimes and you don't realize how hurtful those things are. It's your wedding, so you can do whatever you want. If you're going to cause trouble to other people, you need to stop and think before you act. That's what I hope you were doing up until now, but it's your wedding and your choices. I hope you'll be happy with what you choose to do.
Wow. Has your way of thinking changed since you've aged dramatically? Auntie, I definitely thought you'd have something to complain about.
Why do you think that? I'm not that bad, am I? Up until now, I think I've given you the freedom to do whatever you want. However, I have always scolded people for things that have caused other people some trouble. But it seems like something you've been doing to people lately.
Yeah. It's always my fault, isn't it, Auntie? I'm the one who always creates trouble for everyone else, don't I?
I'm not saying you've always been causing trouble, Lucia. You're really not paying attention to what I'm saying, are you?
I kind of missed giving you crap like that when I was a child, but it's okay. Just forget what I said to you. Anyway, I'll say that the color of my wedding dress is none of your business. I just wanted to tell you that that's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's fine. Just do whatever you like, dear. Thanks for telling me, I suppose. I'm looking forward to your wedding ceremony. It's going to be great.
Wow. I can't believe that it's almost time for Lucia's wedding soon. I'm already so nervous for her.
Why are you nervous, Mom? What am I going to do with you? I've got everything prepared, so it'll be fine.
Oh yes, of course you do, sweetie. Gosh, let me tell you a story, Maya. When I attended your sister's wedding, I was even more nervous than she was, to the point I was sweating profusely. I remember all of you laughing in my armpit stains. It was a crazy time.
Ah, yes. Now that I think about it, I remember what's happening. But now this time it's going to be your granddaughter's wedding, okay? There's no need for you to be nervous about her getting married at all. You'll be fine, Mom.
Yeah, I think I will be too, I hope. After all, she's a beautiful lady that was raised by a strong and inspirational woman. But yeah, I've also have many things to think about.
Huh. Yeah, I guess so, but you don't have to worry about a thing. Just let me do it if something doesn't go right. Don't lift a finger, Mom.
I mean, look, you took the responsibility of taking care of Lucia and raising her. Is that what you meant when you said you wanted to protect my body? I think that's why I feel so indebted to you for doing that. Am I correct in saying that?
That's something that you shouldn't worry about anymore. We all knew it would be too much for you to take on Lucia. Besides, Lucia's my sister's daughter, and I was going to be the guardian if something happened to them. There is no question as to who should have raised Maya. I knew I had to step up, and you helped along the way.
Even so, it was my own daughter who passed away, so I feel guilty in not doing as much as I should have. I should have been the one to raise Lucia.
That shouldn't be how it works, Mom. Just the fact that you think that breaks my heart. You know you weren't well back then. I'm really glad that you're all healed up now, but that's just a result of what happened. I've been working as an office lady since then, so I've got plenty of things to give.
Maya, that's not exactly what you did. You've made a lot of sacrifices for Lucia. I do know that you worked hard to earn money. You quit your job at a company that required you to do a lot of overtime, and you made the time to raise your child. Instead, you worked part-time so you could spend time with Lucia. Before I knew it, you were working from home and things were changing and...
Yes, Mom, I know, but I really can't do much about the situation I'm in right now. I've recently been earning a bit of money and enjoying life for myself. But since I'm the one who raised Lucia, I also need to pay for some of her living expenses. I didn't want her to live in poverty, so I did my best to give her what she needed. It was more for my own sake that I did that. I think I wanted her to have things that other kids her age had, like the popular toys and games.
Wow, my dear daughter. I just want you to know that you've done a great job with Lucia. I'm sure your big sister would be very grateful for what you've done for her.
Yeah, I really hope Lucia's mom and dad would be really thankful for all the things I've given to their daughter. But if both of them hadn't gotten caught in that car accident, I'm sure Lucia would be in a lot happier place right now.
Hey, now you don't need to think about that too much, Maya. We'll never know what it would have been like if they survived. You can't think about the what-ifs because they'll never happen. Besides, I'm sure you did the best you could, and I don't think you would have done anything wrong. You had to make the most out of a bad situation. But also, you don't have to be totally responsible for Lucia's life. She's an adult now and needs to realize what the big wide world is like.
Yeah, I do know that. It's just going to be so hard to do this to her after what happened to her parents.
Hey, you did your best with raising the child, Maya. Don't discredit anything you did for her. Even though you were her age when you started to raise her, you were in love, but you gave up on that. You worked hard to raise Lucia, and you gave up so much, so now it's time to think about your own happiness. Nobody else's, Maya.
Ah, yes, I suppose I should think about that more often. There wasn't the time to fall in love back then. I was once able to keep my husband happy before Lucia lost her parents, but I couldn't even do that after everything changed.
You're way too kind to everyone but yourself, Maya. Don't you think you're sacrificing your own happiness to please others? What about doing what you want for a change, yeah?
Yeah, I'm trying to change my mindset to do that now. At the time, I was desperately pleasing everyone around me. So these days, I finally realize that if I want to live the life I want to lead, I do want to be happy and have someone to love. There are times when I wish that I could be with someone and we can achieve our dreams together. Well, if I can find a partner to do that with.
It would be so nice if you could meet someone and do so many things with them. It would be lovely to see you so happy again. Wow, it's so rare for you to say something like that when you're thinking about other people. It's nice to hear you're thinking about what you want, dear. Do you know anyone who would want to meet up with you? Is there already someone that's ticking those boxes for you?
No, it's not quite like that yet, Mom, but I've recently been in contact with someone that I think has a really great personality. But I don't know if they're intending to take the next step yet. I'm not really sure if we want the same things or not. I won't do anything yet, but maybe once everything calms down with Lucia, then maybe I'll make a move. It'll give me peace of mind.
Well, I really hope that goes well for you, my dear. Hang in there, Maya. You're doing so great, and I'm really proud of you for everything you've achieved so far in life. I'm really proud to have a daughter like you who's caring and supportive of other people, but is also thinking about her own happiness now.
Aw, thank you, Mom. I really appreciate your kindness and support. If Lucia felt the same way towards me, I'd feel even more appreciated. I don't know how this other person feels about me, so I hope they appreciate what I do for them too. I feel so depressed right now, Mom. I just feel a bit lost at how to cope with things right now.
Oh, honey, I'm sure that's not true. I bet you 100% that Lucia's grateful for everything you do or try to do for her.
Well, I really hope so, Mom. I really hope she feels that way towards me. It would make me feel so sad if she didn't.
Hey, what do you think you're doing here? Why did you come for? Why did you come and show your wrinkly face around here?
Oh, Lucia, I don't know what you mean by that. I came because I'm your auntie and we're family. I was just really looking forward to the wedding day, so I thought I'd show up a little bit earlier. Why don't you pour me some wine once we see each other? That would be good, right?
What the heck are you talking about, Auntie? I suppose it's only natural for some old lady to just show up, even though they weren't invited, right? I'm going to pour myself a beer so that I can relax and calm down. I can't believe this.
Some old lady? Who are you talking about? Me? Don't you know that I'm the one who raised you? I'm not some old lady. I'm your Auntie Maya.
Even though you turn around and say that you raised me to every single person you know, you've got no idea who I am as a person. We're more like strangers to each other. The only people that I want at the ceremony are close family, so everyone else should just go home. And I'm talking about you, Maya. So, bye-bye now, and don't come near me.
What on earth is going on here? Are you seriously telling me to leave the wedding ceremony? But I'm your family, Lucia. How am I nothing but a stranger to you when I was the one who raised you since your parents died? You're not making any sense.
Look, I said what I said, all right? We're strangers to each other. I don't want you here at my wedding. I'm busy with trying to organize my wedding here. You're such a patronizing old hag that's nothing for me and refuses to give me any money for the wedding. Go home now, and don't even try to come back.
I can't believe you just called me that. I thought you appreciated me a bit more than that. Fine, I'll go home then.
Good. You should do as you're told, you wrinkly old hag. Also, I don't want anything to do with you, so I'm cutting you out of my life. I don't want to hear from you or see you ever again. So with that, I'll say goodbye, and good luck with whatever you're going to do, which is most likely nothing.
All right then, Lucia, be that way. If you do this, there's no going back, so I hope in your head that you've made the right decision for yourself.
Excuse me? You need to pick up your phone right now. How dare you ignore my phone calls? This is important. Where the heck did you go in such a hurry? You need to get back here immediately. I mean it.
Well, you cutting me off was short-lived now, wasn't it? What are you talking about now, Lucia? You were the one who chased me away from here. If you wanted me to stay, you should have been a bit nicer to me. I'm already at home, and I don't plan on leaving it anytime soon.
Look, I understand all that, all right? But now I'm telling you to get back here, okay? What's so wrong with asking that?
Okay. What seems to be the problem now? What's so urgent that you need my help? I thought I was a stranger to you now, Lucia. You can't just say something terrible to me and then ask for my help. It doesn't work like that in the real world.
That's so not true. Fine. I take it all back. I didn't mean it, all right? It was just a bad fleeting thought I had since you weren't helping me out financially, okay? I just thought that you were supposed to be like a mother to me. I thought that you could do anything. Please, just come back here. I need your help.
Well, I'm sorry, dear. I'm afraid I can't get back over there. I've got beer all over my clothes. It would be illegal to drink and drive, you know. I'm also super disappointed in your attitude towards me, so I don't really want to be around you if you're going to speak like that to me.
Oh, come on, Aunt Maya. Don't say things like that. I really didn't mean to say what I did to you. You're my mother, right? I had no idea that you were going to do something at the wedding. I can't believe you were asked to give a speech by your relatives at the venue. All of our family members are really upset with me sending you away. If you're not here, I can't have the ceremony anymore. It would be a disaster.
Oh, is that what's going on? I had no idea they were going to feel this strongly about me not being there. but I had a feeling that something like this was going to happen after the way you've been talking to me lately. I suppose I must have said something to them while I was on my way out. They must be so upset that you drove me away like this.
Why would you say that to them when it's none of their business when it comes to our relationship? It makes me sound like I'm the bad guy.
Well, have you thought that maybe you're the bad guy in all this because you deny that I've helped you in any way for your entire life? I didn't want to be the bad guy, so someone obviously is, and I guess it's you. They were the ones that asked me why I was going home, so I told them the truth.
But you didn't have to go and tell them that I poured beer over you, did you? You were the one not listening to me. All you had to do was say that you were just going home to get something, like any other normal person would.
I didn't think it was a good idea to hide what had happened, Lucia. Besides, if you wanted me to keep it a secret, you should have said so in the beginning. First of all, why do you think I've done something wrong to you? Why do you care that they found out so badly?
Because I didn't think you'd have any idea who my fiancé's relatives were. How did they know what I did? Why did you speak to them? Why are you in contact with them? Do you know how weird and dodgy that is?
That's because I was assigned to give a speech at the wedding. I was supposed to welcome your fiancé to the family and say a few words to you both. He secretly gave me his contact information, then he asked me to give a speech, and I wanted to do that because I care about you.
But I don't understand why he'd go behind my back in the first place. So my fiancé wanted to connect with you for that reason?
Didn't I just say that? Yes, he did. We were in touch with each other about things that he wanted done at the wedding. You know, I really wanted to make your wedding day the happiest day in your life since you've been through so much misery. I put you first in my mind a lot, Lucia.
What the heck? You didn't need to do that at all, especially when I didn't even ask you to do a speech in the first place.
They heard that I raised you since your parents died in that accident. If you think about it, ordinary people would be very grateful to get that sort of help. So with that in mind, I was going to give a speech for you about how I raised you to see if you were thankful for that.
But I didn't know you'd do that, and you still went home even though I didn't know you were going to do that. His family are really annoyed at me. Do you not realize that? Even though I didn't do anything that bad to you.
Well, generally speaking, you did treat me poorly, didn't you?
I also went over and talked to Grandma too. Did you tell her what happened? She's such a weird person. I really don't get her sometimes.
I don't know about that. My mother, I mean your grandma, she's seen how hard I've worked to raise you.
What the heck? I've got no clue what's going on with you people. So now I've just got no one on my side now? Well, isn't that just great?
Well, what about your fiancé? Have you interacted with him at all today? Does he know what happened? I'm sure you've got your own reasons for saying what you said to me, right? I'm sure if you explain it to him properly, he'll understand you, right?
I really don't know about that. I've got no idea about how anyone's mind works anymore. When I talked about it, it felt like I was pouring oil on the sun. I was getting burned left, right, and center from everyone. They got mad at me because I was too immature or I never showed enough appreciation or something. I've heard what Grandma said to me about how I've been treating you.
Well, if you actually listen to her properly, you'll know that she's right about everything. I know that you don't appreciate me at all.
I asked my partner's parents, and they told me that you paid for most of the expenses for the ceremony. Is that true?
Oh, okay. Is that what we're talking about now? I guess it would be strange for someone that doesn't really know you to pay for your wedding ceremony. If I lent you the money and you knew about it, I wouldn't really care since I'd still be in your life, right? But since it's your own wedding and you treated me poorly, how about you pay me back for all the expenses I paid for?
Now wait just a minute. Are you kidding me? That's an impossible thing for me to do right now. I had no idea that you paid for most of the expenses, Aunt Maya. That's not fair at all. I shouldn't have to pay you back anything since I didn't know what you did. Look, you need to get back here. Otherwise, if things continue like this, the wedding will be called off. I can't have that, okay?
Oh yeah? Well, these things happen if you treat some of the only family you have like crap and only use them as a bank account. But I'm sure the situation will sort itself out over there. I guess your partner probably has doubts about marrying you now after what you did to me.
This can't possibly be happening right now. Please, Aunt Maya, I'm begging you. I'm on my knees right now. Please, come back immediately. I'll apologize to you properly when you get here. I didn't mean anything I said. I take it all back. Please, tell his family that you've forgiven me.
You know, Lucia, I think I've spoiled you too much throughout your life. Maybe it's because I felt sorry for you and wanted to do right by you, but you have turned out so horrible. I even helped you out when you were told to pay alimony for having your hands all over a married man. I was so angry, but I helped you out financially with that. It's because I've always helped you along the way, so you've never had to take the consequences of your own actions. I guess you've lost the ability to see what you've done and how you've treated people. I thought you'd know better at your age.
But that was back then. This is now. Hasn't me noticing what I did today was wrong not good enough for you?
Actually, now that I think about it, I never told your fiancé about your past involvement with married men, have I? Actually, no. I'm pretty sure I told someone on his side of the family. Oh, I remember now. I told your fiancé's uncle about your infidelities.
Excuse me, what did you say to them? You've got no right telling anyone anything about my own business. Just wait a minute. You didn't tell them everything, did you? You got no excuse to tell them any of that. Please don't say anything more to them, all right?
Lucia, if you can't accept what you've done and be honest with him, then I guess you're not a suitable person to get married to. Well, I'm certainly not proud of the things you've done. You've been in the wrong so many times, but you've always denied any wrongdoings. You have always been so good at hiding things from people. I finally understand what you're truly like now.
That's enough, Auntie. Come on. Stop being like this, okay? Would you just shut your mouth? I got way too much to deal with right now, and you're only making it worse for me. So just shut up with all the stories you have about me, and just get over here and fix what you've done. I need to get married today. You need to help me out.
Lucia, you're just a little bit selfish. All you've ever thought about is yourself, dear. I intend to distance myself from you until the end of my days. You really are just another stranger to me, and to be honest, I don't need a toxic niece like you in my life. I won't spoil you anymore. You need to experience hell at least once in your life, and I think your time has come. You need to think about what you've done. Once Lucia's fiancé and his family found out how she treated her Auntie Maya and saw Lucia in her true colors, the wedding ceremony was immediately canceled. As for Aunt Maya, she really hit it off with Lucia's fiancé's uncle. Maya is currently in a relationship with the intention to get married to him someday. When it came to Lucia and the wedding, it was canceled and she was cut off from her fiancé's family and her own family as well. She started working part-time to pay for the cancellation of the wedding ceremony that she owed to Maya. She was her niece that she raised like her own daughter, but Lucia treated her very badly in the end. Lucia needs to look at herself in the mirror and ask how she can treat people better so she doesn't end up alone forever.
Your name is Laura, right? You've done something very inexcusable this time, haven't you?
What exactly are you talking about all of a sudden? I'm surprised that the executive director would be contacting me through text instead of in person.
Well, I have to contact you through text because that's just how big of a problem you've caused for me.
You're saying that I've caused you some sort of a problem? I'm sorry, but I don't remember doing anything that would have had an effect on you.
You know about Brent, right?
Of course I do. He works in the same department as I do, and we are both on the same team.
Well, that Brent also happens to be my very important son.
Of course. I am aware of that as well.
And from what Brent has been telling me, you've been picking on him. Is this true?
What? I haven't been picking on Brent whatsoever.
Well, just a little while ago, I heard all about this from his own mouth. Don't act dumb with me in an attempt to get out of trouble.
Wait a moment, please, Roy. I think this might have something to do with what happened recently. I had talked with him about something he'd been doing and gave him a small warning about it. Is that what he told you about?
You gave him a warning?
That's correct. Before he was going to hand in some documents, I noticed that he had a few of the numerics on them written down incorrectly. So I warned him about that, and he said he might need to take one more look at all his papers.
Oh? So a part-timer like you want to give the son of an executive director a warning?
A part-timer like me? I understand that I'm currently working what looks to be part-time shifts here, but I still believe I have the right to warn him of something like that. And at the very least, he is beginning his new career in this company, so I viewed it as the right time to give him that warning so that he'd be more careful going into the future. I wouldn't want our manager learning that he had made such a mistake like that so soon. So I went and warned him to have another look at his papers and then hand them in. I was only warning him because I care for him.
Shut your mouth. There's not a single person in that department who has the authority to warn my son that he has made any mistakes in the first place. You've really gone and done it this time, Laura.
I don't think I've done anything wrong here, Roy.
No, shut up! An old hack like you who knows nothing of this structure of the company is going to be fired.
No way you can do that to me. How could you ever have me fired over a simple warning? You are just the executive director, Roy. I think you need to think twice about the words you're going to be speaking before saying things like that to me. Something as small as this is nothing to be firing me over.
None of this is small to me, though. I made sure to put a lot of time and thought into what I've said here.
I'm not sure that's the case, though, based on what you've just said to me. I understand that as his father, you want to do everything to protect your son, but you need to realize that this is the workplace and not somewhere where you should become so emotional.
Well, you've just gone and tried to diminish whatever joy my son has had in this company so far. And I'm sure that you do the same with all the other new hires as well, don't you? Instead of going and warning my son like that about his mistake, you should have stepped in and fixed the mistake for him so that he wouldn't feel bad about it. The fact that you couldn't even think of something as common as that just goes to show how you are no use to this company and I anymore.
Your son Brent, he is not some child anymore. He should be able to correct the mistakes he has made on his own, and then learn from them. If he doesn't, then...
Do you have any idea who you are running your mouth to right now? If you go against me like this, then that means you're gonna be against all your higher-ups and the company itself.
Are you saying it's wrong for me to give my viewpoint on this matter when it's directly affecting me and the company?
You're nothing but a part-timer, so you only share half the rights that the rest of the full-time employees here gets. That means that you don't have the right to speak up like them.
Excuse me?
I'm not joking around right now. I'm warning you, right now. There is not going to be a next time after what you've done. But if there is, don't you ever talk back to my son like that ever again. Don't you warn him of any mistakes, and don't you freaking dare try and preach to him about anything regarding his job here.
Laura, are you doing all right now?
Oh, it's you. I'm doing just fine, John. Why are you wanting to talk with me now?
I wanted to tell you about today and how I just got invited out to a dinner. Would you be able to have dinner by yourself today? I'll be having my meal at that meeting and then I'll be able to come home.
Is that right? You poor thing, having to go out and be interrupted by people even during the time of day when you should be having your dinner?
Well, this is for the company after all. This is also for you and I and the family. So I'll do my best not to think about having to keep dealing with work until late in the evening.
Alright, well, go look at that dinner today.
I will say this though, and that is that I'm still not getting very used to working in the same building as my wife yet.
Really? I've totally gotten used to all of it now, and don't even mind the fact that you're like my boss at times.
But there are times that I never get to see your face at all throughout the day, while we're working, and, well, that's just leaving me feeling lonely.
Are you even coming into the office anymore? That's how it feels sometimes.
I'm sure that if you and I had to actually see one another every day while at work, things would become a little bit sour between you and I. So, even though I'm not used to working in the same building as you, at least I know that you and I will continue to be happy with one another.
You have a great point there.
By the way, have you heard about Wallace at all?
Wallace? No, I haven't heard anything about him.
It sounds like Wallace is gonna be fired now.
What? I thought that he was just taking some time off work and now he's going to be fired? What ended up happening to him that led to all of that?
From what I've heard, he was harassing other workers in the company with his status in the company. He was a very good employee to the company and all, so it's sad to see him go. But if that's how he's been treating the other employees here, then so be it.
He's been harassing other employees? You're telling me the Wallace we both know has been doing that here?
He was in the same department as you, right? Did things ever feel that way about him to you?
Not at all, John. He was one of the nicest people I've been around. And if anything, he was one always giving compliments to others and such. And most of all, when I first came into this company and started to work alongside him, he did everything he could to show me the ropes and make sure I was comfortable with my job before letting me get work done on my own. He has been so generous to me. I have no idea how he would have been going out and harassing anyone.
But from what it looks like, there must have been many complaints about him doing just that.
Who has been complaining about him so much?
This is what the executive director has said. And the one who's been affected the most by Wallace's harassment has been the executive director's son.
You're talking about those two?
What's wrong, Laura?
I know for a fact that they have just given Wallace a bad name, John.
What? Wait, what do you mean by that? Explain to me what's going on with that comment of yours.
John, you hold any of your financial decisions and wait for me, all right?
What? But Laura...
I know what's going on here. I need you to listen to what I'm going to have to tell you. So before you make the final decision to let Wallace go, wait for me.
Alright then, I can wait. Hey, you! Are you gonna be coming into the office again today?
Brent, recently you've been acting very strange. Why have you been speaking to me like that? You do realize that I've been around these parts for much longer than you have, and I've been the one training you on plenty of things in this workplace. Could you please show me a bit more respect by talking to me in a more decent tone?
Huh? You're always beneath me in this company, woman. You're just a measly part-timer after all, right?
The way you're thinking about that is not good, Brent.
Ah, shut the hell up. I wanted to tell you that by having you around all the time in the office, you're causing my work to become defective and full of mistakes.
As far as I'm aware, me coming into work to get all of my tasks done has had nothing to do with any of your work.
Just by having a freaking annoying old hag like you in the same office as me, my work is becoming flawed and it's causing me to look bad.
Old hag? Do not call me things like that ever again, Brent.
I'm just telling the truth. Stop acting like I've hurt you in any way by using those words.
Well, even if me coming into this office is having a negative effect on you, I have work that I need to get done here, so I will be coming in today.
Then stay away from this floor. This is the last thing I'm gonna tell you, alright?
But if I can't get to that floor and get to my desk, then I won't be able to get to any of the work I've been entrusted to complete.
Nothing about this company is gonna change by not having you coming into your office. Part-timers like you should be relegated to only cleaning up the bathrooms for the rest of us. How about you go and do that instead, you know?
As far as I'm aware, all of the cleaning of the building is left in the hands of the hired contractors we have. So there's no reason for me to be doing their job for them.
Well then tell me, what is the point of you being a part of this company at all? Why are you coming into this building every day to do this so-called work of yours?
I'm coming into work every day because I'm working for the company's sake.
Well then you need to quit. You're just getting in the way of far more important people, such as myself, which is hindering our work, so that's actually benefiting this company. So leave! Ah, and by the way, my dad is gonna be the one firing you here soon. So I guess that you shouldn't have to go through all the trouble of trying to quit after all.
I can tell that your father has already been at work firing people.
Of course he has been. And the same thing is gonna be happening to you after that warning you gave me before. I'll bet he tore you another one once he found out what you said to me, huh?
If you don't like to be warned about your mistakes, Brent, then you shouldn't be making any in the first place.
Ah, shut your freaking mouth. I will not be preached to by your old ass. You're gonna be fired, and so you better go and get all your crap out of your desk right now.
I have not done anything that will get me fired by this company.
You're a freaking joke. As long as my dad and I make something happen, there's no way you'll be able to avoid being fired by this company.
I knew it. So you both been doing things like that already.
Anyone that thinks that they stand up to me, I'll make sure that they never come back to this office ever again. That's the way that I make sure I stay on top and get paid here.
And so that's what you did to try and get rid of Wallace, right?
You know about a lot of things for a part-timer, you know? Both you and that bastard thought that you could get away with warning me like you guys are my parents or something, and that's why you gotta go. I just have to tell my dad about things like that, and you'll be gone. That's why you better start grabbing all your things today and start looking for new places to work. Well, I'm sure that not a single company in this state would be willing to hire such an annoying old hag like yourself, though.
Thank you, Brent. With this, I've finally been able to learn about what you and your father have been up to.
Hey, there's still all those other documents, right? I'm gonna be coming to the office right now to get them, so you better get them all for me and place them on my desk.
What? From what I remember, that was a task you had been given, Brent.
Shut the hell up already. I had other things going on in my time, so I've never got around to doing all of it. And since today is the day that all those documents have to be handed in, I need you to work on them and place them on my desk. Well, I'm sure that you're not gonna be much help here, though.
You went and told the manager that you'd have all those documents filled out and reviewed before today, right?
I happen to work at my own pace, alright? Don't tell me what to do while I'm there working.
I don't care how you get your work done. But the thing is, you're trying to get me to do all your work for you now, that you said you'd take care of.
You don't have to think about it all that much at all. I'm telling you to do it all for me, so you better get to it and do it.
Are you kidding me, Brent?
Such a waste of space, you part-timer. Someone like you is only good for one thing, and that is listening to me and doing as I say. If you can't even do that one thing, then you're not even worth being a part of this company. Do you really want to be fired right now? Huh?
Well, I'll try my best to get as many of these documents filled out as I can.
Well, you should have been saying that from the beginning, you old hag. Also, once you have all that work done and on my desk, I want you to clean up my office space for me so that it shines. You know what'll happen to you if you're not able to get all that done for me by today, right?
Understood.
What's all this about?
What are you talking about now, Brent?
I'm not being let into the office building anymore. The stupid security guard's trying to have me kicked out of the property right now.
That seems to me like you found yourself in quite the predicament.
Stop messing around with me. He just told me that I'm never going to be allowed into the office again, and that I need to hand him over my badge? What the heck is going on here?
After the company put some thought into it, this was the choice that it made. If you were trying to figure out why something like this could be happening to you, search your memories and I'm sure you'll find your answer.
I have no memory of anything I've done. Do you know how much I've done to work for this company, coming into work every day and doing my job? I don't even remember doing a goddamn thing that would have me kicked out of this office. If anything, it should be all of you useless idiots who continue to get in my way that should be kicked out of the office forever.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Huh?
All of those comments, those hurtful remarks about the rest of the employees and part-timers, here is what has become a problem in the eyes of this company. To put it more easy to understand terms, you've been harassing others in the workplace with your insults and threats.
What have I done that's considered workplace harassment?
How many times has it been now where you've gone and threatened me with being fired over things that you have no say in? That right there is a perfect description of you harassing me.
That wasn't meant to be harassing you or anything.
Then tell me what all those comments and threats were.
Those were all warnings. I was warning you by letting you know that if you didn't get everything done, then you were gonna be fired.
Is that right? Then what was going on with you bragging about how you could get anyone fired with the help of your father, when they were getting in your way and causing you trouble?
You just took all that the wrong way is all. And now shut it. Go and talk with the higher-ups and let them all know that they can't kick me out of this company.
I'm sorry, but we are far past all those talks now.
What do you mean?
It's not just me that you are causing problems for, but the rest of this department's employees as well. They have all spoken up about how often you've been harassing them, all because you think you can use your father's position to get your way. So even if I were to go and say something to them, all of the others wouldn't care and would gladly have you gone.
What?
Well, I'm not sure what all is going to be coming from this, but from what I've heard, you'll have to stay home from the office for the next couple of days while the company makes their final decision. So please, go home now, Brent.
I see. So that's what's going on here. You've gotten all this together to make crap up about me in order to get me fired. That's exactly what I should expect from a bunch of weaklings like you.
I'm sorry to say, but none of us have the ability to do such a thing and get away with it. And the same thing goes for you now, Brent.
No way, you're wrong. Unlike the rest of you dogs, I can get away with it, and I will. I'm someone you might call an elite.
Surprising. You sound like a 5-year-old talking about yourself like that now.
Shut your freaking mouth, you! I'm an elite, and that's why I can talk about myself like this.
Then tell me, Mr. Elite, what are you planning on doing next that will get you out of your mess? I'm not sure there is anything else you can do to change the fate that you've made for yourself.
I've got something up my sleeve. I've got the power to wipe you all out from this company no matter how much you all try to make me look like the bad guy.
I'm not sure you'll be able to do such a thing. What you've done has found its way all throughout the company now, so good luck trying to make yourself look good in the eyes of every single one of us. I'm sure you can't do that though, because a lot of the people who have made the decision are far above you in every manner. You see, if what you've been doing wasn't as bad as everyone has made it out to be, then why would the company be kicking you out and sending you home?
That has nothing to do with what I have in store. I got a way to change all the views of me from those higher-ups, and I'm gonna do just that.
Then tell me, how are you going to make that happen?
Do you have any idea who I am? Do you have any idea who my dad is?
I'm very sorry to have to say this, but this time I'm not so sure your ex-executive director father will be able to do anything for you.
Huh? That's how I'm gonna win this, with my dad's power. He is the executive director of this company, and he can do anything I ask. And I'd just like to say that him and I are both very good friends of this company's CEO. All we have to do is go and have a word with the CEO directly about this, and then he'll have all of you disgusting rats kicked out of this company forever.
Is that right? You and your father are both friends of the CEO.
Of course we are! So what are you gonna do about it now? I think that you better start apologizing to me right now for all that you've tried to do.
Are you kidding me? No way I'm apologizing to you. Go right ahead and see what happens when you go crying to the CEO about this.
Just don't say I didn't warn you first. We'll see what happens to all of you next. Mr. CEO, could you please listen to what I have to say? Oh, it's you. You've really gone and done it to us all this time, huh? Now, just hold on a second. This is a trap that was set for me to fall into. Now, I'm being portrayed as the bad guy right now. You're being set up, then? Do you care to explain to me in what way you've been set up? I have not been harassing anyone in the workplace, alright? I've been focusing on my own work and everything, while everyone else in the department has been making plans to get rid of me. Then why has all this happened if you weren't harassing anyone? Why would anyone want you out of this company so badly that they would set a trap for you and lie? This is all because of that old hag in my department, Laura. That jerk went through all the work to make me look bad to have me sent home. I wonder why that could be. She's the kind of bitch that won't let anyone go until she has her way. She's the thing that you should be wanting to kick out of this company, not me. Oh, so you're saying all that about my wife, huh? What? Hold on. Wait, what did you just say about her? That woman working in the same department as you has been my wife, Laura. She's been working part-time in the company for years now, and she does so because she has things to attend to at home for us as well. Now, if you're saying that my wife has something against you and is so selfish that she can't handle anything not going her way... that's right? Wait, she really is your wife? That's right. And from what her and all the other coworkers have told me, she views everyone as family here. She's even called the mom of this company. She spends a lot of her time making sure that everything is going okay, and she's always on her A-game. So I'm really not that sure that Laura, my Laura, would ever go through something as troublesome as setting a trap for someone else and lying about what they've done. But this is the truth! Something like a workplace harassment? Why would I ever do something like that to get any of the employees here, huh? As far as I'm aware, Brent, from what more than half of the department has been saying, you've been harassing them while they've been in the office. And so we've had to begin an investigation into just how far you've taken things here. I know all that, yeah. Do you know about why this is happening to you now then? Wait, what? This is all happening because your wife got everyone to help her and taken me down for something I have not been doing, right? Wrong. This is all happening because we learned that you were the one that became unhappy with Wallace and had him fired by your father. Wallace happens to be a very trusted and well-respected man in this company. Someone who everyone loved and talked about. And that man who would never even hurt a fly fell victim to your harassments as you went and had him fired. And when everyone else in the office heard about that, they all started to worry about what you would do to them all next. But I... And when I learned the truth behind everything, I was left speechless. And I learned that I also am responsible for not taking responsibility sooner. But before I have to pay for my failures to this company, you will have to receive your punishment. Ah, crap! For the time being, you will not be allowed into the workplace and your salary will be halved. And once the HR has gone through and done their full investigation into you, I believe that you will be fired for what you've done, so please prepare yourself for that. Ah, crap! You really did a good one hiding all that from me!
So, how was your talks with the CEO? What all did my husband have to say to you?
I never freaking thought that you would turn out to be the CEO's wife!
I'm sure you didn't have any room for your words in his head, and let them fly into one ear and out the other, right?
Well, since you happen to be the CEO's wife, then all this will be quick. You go and tell the CEO right now that what he's doing is wrong and to have all those investigations into me ended.
And why should I, of all people, have to listen to you and go do all of that?
Do you have any idea just how much I've done for this company and how much this company's benefited from having me working for it? You know more than anyone about all the accomplishments I have, right?
I am well aware of all of them. You happen to accomplish a lot while working in this department.
That's right! So you know that if I'm fired from the company and never able to come back, then there'll be hell to pay and the company will never be as good as it is today.
I'm sure there will be some hell to pay, but there would be even more hell to pay by having someone like yourself continue working in this company.
What are you saying right now?
You and your father worked together and had quite a few employees in this company fired for no good reason. All that is very well known now, and there is no erasing the stains you've left behind. Because we had to lose quite a few employees now, some of the best this company had due to your guys' selfish ways. That has been a very major loss for this company, and we will not be allowing that to happen again.
You're wrong. There were very good reasons for why all of them had to be fired.
Well, luckily, the investigation has been doing wonders in finding out what those reasons were. They happen to be lies that your father and you would tell about them, and you'd even go through the trouble of making false evidence in order to fool HR. Well, there is still a lot of time left for these investigations, so only time will tell just what lengths the two of you have really gone to. This company is planning to pay those employees that had to be fired a large amount for their troubles. And then, this company will be taking the two of you to court and forcing you both to pay up the damages you have caused to us. And that's the plan, Brent.
You're gonna have us pay the company? Why the hell do I have to do something like that to the company?
Because as I said, you caused some major damages to this company, and we have to make up for them. This is what happens when you cause harm to someone, or something else.
Well, whatever. I'll pay whatever the company's asking for, okay?
Oh, you really will? Well, that was fast. I'm sure it's going to be a large amount the company is asking for, so are you sure you can pay it all off?
I don't need your worries. My dad has been the executive director of the company for a long time now, so I'll be able to pay up.
Well, that's just wonderful to hear.
And let me just say, don't consider this a win for yourself.
What? Why would you say that?
Well, you all have been so busy with those investigations. My dad and I have been talking with the board and all the company's investors, and we're gonna have the CEO changed at once. Then my dad will be made the CEO of the company, and he'll make sure to get rid of all the talks about me harassing all the others within the working place, and then we'll be back on track to having full control. And after all that, every single one of you that you said that I was harassing will be fired.
That's going to be impossible for you two.
Huh? What do you even think that you can call something like that impossible?
Because I can. Like I said to you before, your dad is now the ex-executive director.
Huh? Wait, why the hell is he being taken out of that position now?
You know why, right? The both of you were working together to have people wrongfully fired from the company, while also harassing the employees. There's no reason that it'd only be you getting punished for all of your actions. He was doing the same things you were, and even helped you with them.
You've got to be freaking kidding me! If that's the case, then that means that both of us are being fired?
I'm sure that anyone can see that being the case now.
Wait a second, alright? All the things that I had to do were because of him, okay? Because of my dad asking me to do them. I had to go through all that unwillingly, okay? I never wanted to harass anyone or threaten them.
This is becoming a bit annoying, Brent. You seem to keep changing the story and your behavior over and over again to fit what you want. Do you really think I'm going to keep listening to you when you do such childish things like that?
But I'm telling you the damn truth here. I didn't want to do any of that, but my dad was making me do everything or else he would have me fired.
It's so funny how similar you are to your father.
How am I similar to him? Don't you freaking dare compare me to that bastard.
I will though, because you both are one and the same. Because your father was saying the exact same things to me about you. He told me that everything he went through with was all because of you forcing him to do so.
No way he would say that. Dad?
So, no matter what excuses you may have for your actions, we all know that both of you went through with everything willingly. Next time, you want to try and have an alibi? How about you and your father agree on it first?
Am I really gonna be fired right now?
I'm sorry to have to say this, but yes. We have to fire those who know nothing about their status in the workplace.
Those two have finally come around with complying to us and have chosen to confess to what they've done.
I see. Well, then that only leaves the rest of the investigation into them, and then we can say our farewells to those two.
That's right. We need to find out just how many of our employees they harmed, as well as how much damage this has caused to the company. Although, I really don't want to think about all that.
But John, you and I both know that we can't look away from all the issues they've caused.
I know that, of course. Also, I just wanted to say that because of your efforts, we were able to help a lot of employees who are afraid to come out about what has been done to them. Thank you so much for that, Laura.
You don't have to thank me. I work for this company with one goal and one goal only, and that's to support everyone as though they are my family. And of course, I wanted to make sure the wrongdoers who did such horrible things to Wallace were taken care of.
But it was also because of me that him and many other employees were wrongfully fired. I listened to everything the executive director told me without even thinking much on it. I'll make sure that all the employees that I fire under the wrong pretext will be paid handsomely for their troubles.
And I will help you do all of that as well. So please, do your best getting all that money from Roy and Brent, and use it to pay those who lost their jobs to them. After both Roy and Brent had been fired from the company, they both made every effort to try and find a new job for themselves. However, this world is not a kind place to live in, and neither of them were able to find any company that was willing to hire them after what had happened. Due to this, things only grew worse for the two, and soon they began to take out their frustrations on one another, even leading to the two getting into physical fights at home. The fact that they had both lost their jobs at the same time really caused trouble for their payments at home, and soon that stress started to cause total breakdowns in them. There are even times the neighbors complain about the screaming and crying coming from their house, and will call the police to come over and check on them when they hear the sound of breaking glass and slamming doors. Some things like that led to the whole neighborhood becoming upset with them, and they were driven out of the area by those that asked for the police to get rid of them. At the same time, the both of them were taken to court in order to be asked to pay off the settlements my husband's company had asked them for. And so, with a large loan, they were able to, but that pretty much laid waste to their savings accounts. Now, they both have to run off somewhere else in hopes of finding a home with what little money they've been left with. Roy ended up moving out into the countryside, where he is working part-time on a farm. And as for Brent, he is held up inside a fast food restaurant on the side of a highway, still struggling to find any form of work that will pay him. Hey, Tyra, are you there? I was just wondering whether or not you are already on your way. Do you think you're going to be able to make it on time? I hope that you're at least close.
Oh, hey there, Sarah. Yeah, I am actually not going to be able to go today. Did you not hear that I wasn't going to show up? I thought you would have heard.
Hold on a second. What do you mean that you're not going to go today? What are you talking about? I mean, you do know that your mother-in-law's funeral is today, right? Your husband's mother? You're really not going to come at all today?
I know what's going on today, thank you very much. And the thing is that I really did try to get up on time, but I just couldn't bring myself to wake up fast enough. So there's really nothing to be done about it now. I mean, even if I were to leave the house right now, I still wouldn't make it on time. And I still have to get ready and all of that, so...
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're telling me that you actually slept in on the day of my mom's funeral?
Yeah, that's right. I slept in today. But again, it's not my fault. Whoever scheduled the funeral for this early in the morning should have thought better about it. I mean, did they really think that people were going to wake up so early just to go to a funeral? And I know some people spent the night there, but that is just not me, not my style. Besides, I already told Harry that I slept in and wasn't going to be able to make it there on time. Though I thought that he would have told you this already. Has he not done that?
No, he hasn't told me, if you must know. And just what is it with this horrible attitude that you're giving me right now? Even when she was having her last night in the hospital before she passed away, you said that you'd be here. And then you didn't show up to that either. You don't want to try and make up for that?
Oh my gosh, here we go again. How many times am I going to have to remind you that I had work at the last minute and wasn't able to go? But I really did want to go there. I heard that you all had gone out for a fancy dinner before, and I really, really wanted to be there for that. Oh man, I was thinking about the dinner I missed out on all day.
I wonder if you have any idea at all just how terribly rude you're being right now. Do you even realize what you're saying?
Oh please, the only rude one here is whoever decided to put this damn funeral this early in the morning. I mean, some of us have work to do and like to use our days off to sleep in. Not get up at dawn for some depressing event. And you all were rude for going out for that fancy meal when you knew that I wasn't going to be able to join you all when your mom was in the hospital or whatever.
Okay, I really don't want to and just can't deal with any of this right now. But are you telling me that you really have no feelings for my mom at all? Even after all that she's done for you, you still feel okay talking about her like this?
What in the world are you even talking about? I mean, we didn't even know each other all that well. And by the time Harry and I were married, she was already in the hospital.
What in the world are you talking about? My mom did so much for you. How could you even say that?
Well, I guess now that you mention it, your mom did give Harry and I the money we needed to put down on our house. And yeah, of course, I'm really grateful to her for doing something like that. But it's not like I was the one who even asked her to do that in the first place anyways, you know?
And just what do you mean by that? What difference does it even make?
Well, I'm just saying that it was Harry who went and asked your mom for the loan, right? So again, I'm grateful that she did cough it up when he asked, but I don't really feel like I need to go out of my way to be thankful or anything.
Okay then, where are you and Harry living right now? Because last time I checked, it was the house my mom helped you both buy. So you don't think that you should maybe just be a little more thankful than you're being right now?
If you're trying to force me to say yes, it's not going to work. I already told you that I am thankful, but not too much, and I think you should accept that. I mean, do you really think your mom wants everyone coming to her funeral out of some feeling of obligation to her? You think she wants me standing over her just so that I can say thank you?
That's not what I'm saying, and you know that. You're not being fair at all in how you're framing this.
No, I'm only responding to what you're trying to tell me. So if you don't have your thoughts together to be able to express to me what it is you want from me, then I suggest backing off. The point is that your mom gave us those $300,000 on her own volition. And so that's why I don't feel guilty for sleeping in and missing your mom's funeral.
I just want to tell you now that you will regret this. You may not know it now, but you will regret what you're doing here.
Oh yeah? And just who is going to make me regret it, huh? What are you going to do to try and make me regret this? As far as I'm concerned, I'm free to attend this funeral if I want to. I don't think that you have a right at all to try and boss me around or guilt me into showing up.
Okay, whatever. I think that we're through here. But just know that one day you are going to pay for this, and it won't be cheap.
What in the world are you even talking about? I think that your grief is driving you crazy.
Hey, Harry, do you have a second to text really quick? I was just curious about why Tyra isn't at the funeral today.
Oh, geez. Yeah, she told me that she slept in this morning and wasn't going to be able to make it since she would still have to get ready and all. But I thought that you and her were just having a conversation earlier, no?
Oh, we were talking. You're right about that. But I just wanted to make sure that you know about why she wasn't here. And how come you didn't tell me the reason for why she wasn't going to be here when you first arrived?
Well, it's just that Tyra is always missing out on big family events like this. I just thought it could be taken for granted at this point. But you know that I was going to miss this, right? And you should know that I'm having a lot of trouble now too, especially with money. But I wasn't going to miss being here for Mom.
I'm sorry, Harry, but I really don't think that we should be making excuses for why we are or aren't here. Can't we just stop all this nonsense and just agree to celebrate Mom's life?
I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody or anything. You're the one that keeps trying to nitpick everyone and tell them how to act at a funeral. Well, maybe you should just stop trying to direct your angry and sad feelings toward everyone else. You ever think about that?
Is that what you think I'm doing? You think I'm just trying to bully people around me because I'm upset? Why can't you take this more seriously? I mean, why can't you just admit that Tyra slept in to miss this on purpose?
Of course she did. I'm not denying that at all. But you need to understand that for Tyra, it's just her mother-in-law. It's not like her actual mother. And I don't think there's actually any need for her to be there anyways. Besides, Tyra is still young and has a lot to learn about being an adult, you know? So I don't think you should really blame her for being a bit prideful.
Harry, you do know who it was that gave you the money so that you two could buy the house that you're both living in now, right?
Yes, Sarah. I am more than familiar with who that money came from. Thank you very much. And just who do you think you are trying to play that card with me when it wasn't you, huh?
What is that supposed to mean? What card is that you think I'm playing, huh?
I mean that you were the one that gave us the money, so I don't understand why you were bringing it up and acting as if that's something you can try to lord over us. Look, it's like you said, we're here at Mom's funeral to be here for Mom. So how about you stop trying to make everything about yourself and let's just get through this.
How could you say something like that to me? Do you actually think that that's what I'm doing? That really hurts my feelings. Besides, you're the one who was still getting an allowance from Mom up until the day that she died.
Oh, come on. You know that that's not fair. My company was downsizing, and I was really in a bad way. Besides, I don't see what any of this has to do with Mom and Tyra. Honestly, you always do this. Why do you always have to try and point out flaws and problems with people? Is this how you think Mom would want us to act at her funeral?
And just who are you to try and pretend like you know what Mom likes and what she doesn't like?
Who am I? That's rich coming from you. I'm her brother. So I have just as much right to talk about this as you do. And all I'm saying is that this is a pattern for you.
Okay, whatever. I don't know why I even bothered trying to bring this up with you in the first place.
That's right. Just get upset and run away like you always do. You're the one that needs to grow up.
Hey, Sarah. I just wanted to run something by you real quick, but I don't think that we should see you anymore. This whole thing just isn't working out. Tyra, what in the world are you talking about? And who do you mean by we? Who do you think I mean by we? I'm talking about Harry and I, of course. Harry told me all about how horrible you were being to him at the funeral. Honestly, you've got some serious nerve trying to lecture your own brother at a funeral. Did you really think that was okay to do? You're so rude. I'm rude. Is that supposed to be a joke or something? The whole reason we got into that fight was because of you. No, that can't be right. How could it have been my fault? Don't you remember that I slept in? How could it have been my fault if I wasn't even at the funeral to begin with? You know, this really is so you to get this mad and try to blame everyone around you for your problems. But I guess it does make you your mother's daughter. You two were sure alike in that regard. Why are you acting like this? I mean, don't you even realize how horrible you're being to me? And how could you talk about my late mother that way? Do you seriously just have no respect for the dead at all? What did she ever do to you? Well, she gave Harry and I the money we needed to buy the house. And then she went and kicked the bucket, so maybe I am being too harsh on her. But as for you, you're the one that keeps trying to use the memory of your mother to guilt Harry and I into feeling bad for just living our lives. It doesn't sound like you're even all that grateful for all that my mom actually did do for you. That's right. I guess I'm not, after all. I mean, having the house is great and all. But to be honest, I never wanted a house. I've always wanted to live in a big, fancy condo instead. So then you don't even like the house that you're living in? You don't care about it at all?
Yeah, pretty much. It's not my favorite place, and I'd happily trade it out for something better. But whether I have it or not doesn't really make any difference to me at all. So that's why when you keep nagging at me about how grateful I should be acting, all for that lame place, it really starts to get under my skin. Hold on a second. You said that place. Does that mean you're not at home right now? What do you mean? Just why do you want to know where I am? And what makes you think I should have to tell you? Well, you said that you overslept, right? So I'd assume that you were still at home. But you actually haven't been at home since this morning, isn't that right? What is this? What gives you the right to interrogate me like this, huh? Just who do you think you are? I'll have you know that I am home, actually. Besides, you're still at your mom's stupid funeral, so just how are you supposed to know where I am and where I'm not? Answer me that. Wow, so you're even going as far as to lie to me about being at home. Well, I suppose I should take this to mean that you're hiding something, aren't you? I seriously have no idea what in the world you could be talking about. But I am telling you that I have been at home all morning and nobody has left or come to the house. I really think that you need to step back from all of this and give yourself some time off. You are just acting like a crazy person now, and I don't like it one bit. Well, okay then. I guess I'll just look forward to seeing you tomorrow, won't I? I'm not looking forward to any of it. If you want me to be perfectly honest with you. Sarah, are you there? Please, you have to answer me right away. This is really, really serious. Something just horrible has happened. Tyra, what do you mean by that? What horrible thing has happened to you? Is everything all right? Well, I was just wondering if yesterday you got some kind of warning for a tornado or something like that on your phone. I mean, any kind of natural disaster or anything? I don't really recall getting any kind of warning in particular like that. But why do you ask this? It's our house! Our house has vanished. It's gone. I have no idea where it went, but it's not where it should be, and I don't know what to do at all. Oh, wow. Well, that sounds like quite the pickle to be in, doesn't it? It sucks for you. I'm seriously starting to freak out a little here. I mean, the whole house has just disappeared. What am I supposed to do? And what about Harry? How am I going to explain this to him? When is he supposed to be getting back from the funeral again? Well, I imagine that Harry would probably be arriving back there any minute now. The timing would be right for it. But how am I supposed to tell him about what happened to our house? I mean, there's nothing to even show him. Hold on a second. If you didn't get a tornado warning or anything like that, then it had to be aliens, right? I mean, there's no other logical explanation for what could have happened to it. Yeah, I mean, it is a real head-scratcher for sure. I seriously wonder what could have possibly happened to it. The whole space where our house used to be is just one giant empty lot now. It was here yesterday morning, and now it's all gone. Tyra, I just want to confirm with you that you were actually at home all day yesterday, right? What are you talking about? What does it have to do with anything that we're talking about? Well, it's just that when we were talking yesterday, you said that you've been at home since the morning, remember? But then, just now, you said that the house was there yesterday morning. Do you see what I'm trying to get at? Oh shoot, no. That was just a typo. I mean that the house was here this morning, and now it's gone. I had actually just stepped out to run some errands, and when I came back, it was gone. And I still have no idea at all what could have happened to it. None of this makes any sense at all. I see. So then, if you had just stepped out to do some errands, you must have only been away from the house for a few minutes, right? Well, yes. No. What is the point of this question, huh? What are you trying to get me to say here? Nothing really, but I suppose now is as good a time as ever to let you know that your house actually belonged to me. Our house belonged to you? What is that supposed to mean? Did you have something to do with this? Well, you thought that it was my mom who had given you the money for the house, but it was actually me. And just like you thought it was my mom's name on the deed of the house, it was, in fact, my name. We only said that it was my mom who gave you the money because we were afraid you wouldn't take it if you knew where it came from. But anyways, all that to say that I was the one who called the demolition crew and had them tear down your house. After all, it was really my house. You had a demolition crew tear down our house? Why in the world would you do something like that? What's the matter with you? I don't care what you have to say for yourself. That's taking things way too far, don't you think? I seriously can't believe that you'd do this to us. I'm sorry. I think there must have been some kind of confusion here. I mean, I really didn't think that you'd be reacting this way. After all, you should have known this was happening. If you were only away from home for a few minutes, then you must have noticed the crew. There's no way they could tear the house down, clear it into a lot, and leave all in such a short span of time. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but I still don't see the point that you're trying to get at with all of this. Can't you just spit it out already? Well, you seem to think that your house was literally whisked away by aliens. But who knows? Maybe it just evaporated into thin air. I would suggest actually looking into those crazy claims before you actually try and pass them off as the truth, though. Because the fact of the matter is that if you were actually at home, like you said that you've been, there is no way that a crew could have torn your house down without you noticing. But I was at home, I swear. I really had only stepped out of the house for a few minutes is all. You have to believe me. The house was fine where it was yesterday. If that's actually true, then tell me, how could it be possible for the house to disappear like that without you noticing? Okay, just what kind of game are you trying to play here, huh? Because now I'm just starting to get upset with you. I know that you had something to do with this. You were playing coy and trying to get me to say I don't know what. But all I do know is that you are seriously starting to piss me off now. I mean, just tell me what you did. I think you have it backwards here, Tyra. I've already told you exactly what I did. I hired a demolition crew to bulldoze down your house and turn the space into an empty lot. You're the one insisting both that your house is gone and that you would have been at home when it vanished, and yet you don't know what happened either. So the only thing that we can deduce from all of that is that either A, your house was taken by aliens or disappeared in some freak of nature accident, or B, you weren't at home at the time that you said you were home. And I think one is much more plausible than the other. I see. So this is what you're trying to get at. You want me to come out and say that I wasn't at home at all yesterday, is that it? Is that what this is about? I just want you to tell the truth. You're the one insisting that you were home, but your story isn't adding up, so which is it? Well, you seem to already think that I wasn't at home even before all of this happened. You were messaging me yesterday and accusing me of being away, remember? And now I have to wonder just why you weren't actually at home like you said that you were. What was up with that? Okay, so you're saying that you hired a crew and that if I was home, it would have been impossible for me to miss them destroying my house, right? Well, fine then. I wasn't at home yesterday. There. Is that what you wanted to hear? Are you happy now? I mean, I'm glad that you finally come out and said it. But now it only further begs the question of why lie about it at all in the first place. Then why don't you just come out and say what you want to say then, huh? Why don't you just tell me that you've known the truth from the very start? The truth? What truth might that be? I really have no idea at all. Unless, could you be talking about the reason why you chose not to go to my mom's funeral at the last minute? What was the real reason again? I know that you said that you slept in, but the truth was that you were out traveling with the man you're cheating on Harry with, isn't that right? But how? I don't understand how you know all of this. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Well, you weren't exactly doing a good job of being subtle. You had been acting quite suspiciously for some time. So I took it upon myself to do a little bit of digging into what you were up to. And I assume then, since both you and I both know just how stupid and blockheaded my brother can be, you didn't bother trying to cover your tracks at all. You mean that you investigated me? What are you, some kind of stalker? What's the matter with you? Have you actually lost your mind or something? Oh, quite the opposite. I know exactly what I'm doing, thank you very much. And I am sick and tired of you taking advantage of my family. So I thought that I would hit you where it hurts. In fact, you should know that I wasn't personally investigating you. I hired a friend who runs a PI business. Okay, you caught me. I admit to everything. But whatever you do, please don't say a word about any of this to Harry, okay? I mean, I don't even know how I'm going to explain to him that the house is gone, but I don't need you causing any more trouble. Oh,
I'm afraid that any more trouble that comes your way from here on out is going to be entirely your fault. But you get what you deserve, I suppose. No! You can't do this to me. This is going way too far, don't you realize that? This isn't me getting what I deserve. This is you tearing down my house. You're completely crazy. And what's crazy about any of this, huh? I told you that the house is mine, right? I can do whatever I want with it. Besides, you said that you didn't care at all what happened to it, right? You said it made no difference whether you had it or not. But I mean, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean that you could just tear it down without even consulting either Harry or I first. Obviously, if I didn't have the house, it would be because I would have sold it and used the money on something that I actually wanted to buy. Why would you think that it meant I wouldn't care if you destroyed the house? Oh man, this is going even better than I imagined it. I never thought that it would be so funny. You're crazy, do you know that? There is something seriously wrong with you. How could you do this to me? I thought you were weird, but at least I thought you were sane. Oh crap, I think I see Harry's car coming over the hill. What am I going to do? So he's finally back home then, is he? I can't wait to hear about what happens next.
Sarah, what in the world were you thinking? Our amazing house, you just destroyed it. Why would you do something like this to us?
You can ask Tyra about all of that. We've already had a long conversation about why I did what I did.
That isn't an explanation at all. I don't want to ask Tyra. I want to ask the person that destroyed my house. Now you tell me why you did this.
Oh, come on. You knew this whole time that the house was actually under my name, right? You know that you never actually owned it, didn't you?
Well, I remember Mom once mentioned something like this to me, but I thought it was just a slip and said something wrong. She was sick, and I didn't want to try to correct her. Besides, that still doesn't explain why you thought it was okay to do something like this.
I did it because it's what you two deserve. You were nothing but leeches on Mom all the way up until the day that she died. That's why I did what I did.
You think that we were leeching off of Mom? Well, maybe we were a little, but it isn't like we had a choice. We were in a serious pinch, and we weren't going to be able to afford even the basics.
And just whose fault is that, huh? Because last I remember, you lost big thanks to your gambling problem. Even when you were working, when you were given something to do outside the office, you would still go to the casinos and try and sneak time to feed your addiction in. And then, when you got found out, like you were always going to be, it also came out that you were using company money to do this. There wasn't any kind of restructuring at all. You didn't get demoted. The company made you pay it all back under penalty of a heavy lawsuit and losing your job.
But how did you know all of that? I mean, not even Tyra knows that that's what actually happened. How did you find out about that? Huh? Have you been stalking me?
Oh, I have my ways. I've asked someone to do a little bit of looking into you is all. And now I know all your dirty little secrets.
Please, Sarah, please. Whatever you do, you can't tell Tyra about any of this. Oh, but our poor house. Why did you have to go and do that? Please, just butt out of our lives already. Don't you think you've already done enough? I don't need you interfering anymore. Do you understand?
Man, you and Tyra are an even better match for each other than you even know. But I'm afraid that I'm still not done with you quite yet. Hey, what is this that I'm hearing about you almost losing your job because of gambling? I thought you got demoted or something. Not only that, but now I hear that you're even borrowing money from my parents as well just to get by. Are you telling me that you've been lying to me?
Oh, please, like you have any room to be mad at me. I've heard that you've been cheating on me for a long time. How could you do this to me?
Well, whatever. At least my cheating only involved us. You're the one bringing my parents into all of this by taking money from them? What's your deal?
I don't see what the big deal is with any of this. After all, we're family, aren't we? Why shouldn't I ask to borrow money from my in-laws? If you don't have money, then you would go and try to borrow from them as well, wouldn't you? So why aren't I allowed to do that same thing that you would do?
It's not even about that money. It's the fact the whole reason you don't have money is because you were demoted all the way to the bottom of the food chain because you were gambling with company money. And now I hear that you and I are actually drowning in all of this debt that I had no idea about. Just when were you going to mention any of this, huh? I seriously can't believe that you would do this to us.
Oh, that is just so rich coming from you. Weren't you the one who missed out on my mom's funeral all because you were too busy cheating on me to come? You're nothing but a lying sack of garbage. And yet you really think that you can turn around and try to play the victim because of a little money?
Shut up! I do not need to take this from you. Who was my affair actually hurting in the end? At least I wasn't out borrowing money that I wouldn't be able to pay back. That's all on you.
I just can't stand you anymore. We are through. I want a divorce, and you better believe that I'm going to be suing you for your affair.
You're going to try and sue me? Well, fine. Go ahead and try it. But I'm going to go to my parents and demand that they ask for all the money they've given to you back. You'll be nothing by the time I'm through with you, though. I'll teach you what happens when you lie to me. After that, both Tyra and Harry tried to message me, blaming the other for all their problems while also thinking that I would take their side against the other. While I had no interest in getting myself involved in their drama at all, it was at least funny to watch it unfold from the sidelines. I told both of them that they were only in the position they were in because of their horrible personalities and that they more than deserved what was happening to them. They both thought that they could sponge off my mom while not showing even the slightest bit of respect for her. After the divorce, Tyra and Harry both pressed each other for the money they owed and in the process alienated Tyra's parents from them both. Although Tyra thought she would end with the upper hand, her parents were so shocked by her behavior and her affair that they told her that they were cutting her off. So, while Tyra had to quickly scramble to find a place to live and find a job, Harry was now straddled with 3 times the debt that he had started with before the divorce. He wanted to go and find a new, higher-paying job, but knew that his embezzlement would make it impossible to have a good word put in for him. His previous demotion had actually knocked him all the way down to being a janitor. But since so much of Harry's debt was tied up with the company, he was also afraid to quit, as it would mean having to repay everything right away. Watching all of this unfold from afar, I was just grateful that I had managed to avoid getting wrapped up in any of the drama. Of course, I had pulled out the final piece that led to everything crumbling around the two, but it was obvious that their fall was only a matter of time anyways. As for what happened to me, I had a new house built on the land where Tyra and Harry had been living. And after asking the court to grant me a restraining order against both of them, I invited my grandparents to move in with me so that I could help take care of them. It makes me sad to wonder about what my mom would be saying or thinking of if she knew about how things ended for Harry and I. But at the same time, I know that she would want our parents taken care of. Not only that, but she would want to know that her children were taking responsibility for their actions, whatever the consequences of that might be. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.